My dear friends, the gospel text is from Mark chapter 10, from verse 35 to 45, where Jesus teaches that those who wish to be great must learn to serve. The theme is servant leadership. It is my aim to explain what Jesus means when he talks about being the servant of all if one wants to be great. Power struggles seem to be part of the daily experiences of life, especially within the family setting or in the corporate environment. People oftentimes would like to exert their influence over others or project themselves as more important than others. The disciples of Jesus were not different. The passage says James and John requested for the place of honor in the kingdom of the Lord. Later, when the rest of the disciples heard about the request by the two brothers, the text says they became indignant at them. The question is why? Most probably because they too wanted the same positions of honor. Most often, the reason for the quarrels in our families or place of work is because of the struggle for power or the struggle for recognition. It is as if everyone wants to be a leader. Jesus used the opportunity to teach the disciples about leadership. He made it very clear how those in the world view leadership. For them, being a leader is to lord it over the subordinates so that the authority is felt. In other words, they give the command and the followers obey. For Jesus, this must not be the style of leadership for a disciple. Those who wish to be great must first of all learn to become servants. What does this mean? The servants in the family setting, as we know, occupy the lowest position. This means that they serve the members of the family. They do so without expecting recognition. They do so without expecting gratitude for service rendered. They understand their task to serve, and they do it dutifully. Disciple who desires greatness or leadership. It is an invitation to servant leadership. This means that the attitude of the disciple who aspires to be in the position of power must be that of service. The leader therefore must have the Christian vocation to serve others. This means that he must do so without thinking about his selfish interest. The leader must fulfill his task without thinking about putting his needs ahead of others. In other words, the interest of the subjects must be his priority and motivation. The servant leader, therefore, is one who desires to serve others, just as the servants do in the family. Jesus, being a good teacher, gives himself as a perfect example when he said that the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. This was what Jesus practically demonstrated when during the Last Supper, he washed the feet of the disciples. The washing of feet, as we know, was a task performed by servants. But Jesus did this to teach the disciples what it means to be a leader. St. Paul talks about Jesus' servant leadership when he said that though Jesus was in the form of God, he did not count equality with God. Rather, he emptied himself, taking on the form of a slave. But later what happened? God exalted him and placed on him the name which is above every name, so that the mention of the name Jesus, every knee must bend, in the heavens and on the earth and under the earth. Philippians chapter 2 from verse 6 to 10. The point is that it is service that leads to greatness. In a world where everyone desires greatness and recognition, Jesus reminds us all about the need to develop the attitude of servant leadership. In a world where power struggle is so common, Christians must think and embrace service. In a world where everyone seeks prestige, Jesus tells us the need to learn from him by the washing of the feet of one another. My dear friends, our world is desperately in need of servant leaders. And this is what Jesus invites us to. For whenever true service is rendered, greatness is guaranteed. May God bless you all. Amen.